Hey, everybody. This will be another episode of the Rambling Podcast. You might notice things look a little different, and I got little Daisy here, so if you hear shuffling around and my lap is moving, that's why.
It's not me.
Yeah. It's no one else, just little Daisy. No, I think she woke up from a bad dream because she woke up and, has to be in my lap. I don't know. Weird. Anyways, you'll notice the camera isn't up here. Now it's, fairly close to eye level, and get a little better view of the background. And the light isn't coming down, making me look even more like a zombie. Now I just look like a really old fucker. Anyways, if you read the description, what is it? Did a little bump on her. Sorry. Dogs. And I always said I don't like dogs. But anyways, if you read the description, talk about Christmas and Rehab and prosthetics. Those are some of the things to cover. I believe I would like to start with a little sports update. Michigan has won their conference, and they are a shoe-in for the playoffs. Alabama beat Georgia. Anytime I see Alabama falling behind, I get happy, and then they come back and win. So, yeah, not an Alabama fan. Also, rather than have the TV reflecting, I put Blackadder on. This is the first season, although I'm currently watching season 4, but I got the title card for season 1 up. So if you haven't watched Blackadder, you should. And if you have watched Blackadder and didn't like it, then you need to seek help. You need help. Serious help. All right. First topic I want to cover is something called Delirium tremens. We've all heard in rock songs or various other phrases, got the DTs. And common assumption is DTs means detox. I'm detoxing. No, it actually means delirium. Yes, Daisy. Easy way to think of it is delirious and the shakes, right? It's a very, very serious problem that mostly involves with heavy alcoholics. When if you quit drinking cold turkey and you are a heavy, heavy drinker, you get the terrible shakes, you get sick. It is very, very difficult and can cause death. Now, we have come a long ways from the days of strapping alcoholics into hospital beds and just no booze for you. We've gotten much better at treating alcohol and drug issues. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because a good friend of mine, well, he's okay. He was in the Navy, so I don't like him that much. Yes, I'm talking shit. He has a close family member who has checked into a rehabilitation center and is going to Rehab. And it is a wonderful, wonderful, scary, painful issue. And I don't expect delirium tremens on this particular case, but you know me, I like to pull up a lot of the weird stuff or obscure things and talk, because I would talk to my friends, but I forgot to get some. If only they sold them in the liquor store between the whiskey and the bourbon. Anyways, it's a 48 to 96 hour period after the last drink, and it starts to go more. And yes, a lot of people are like, oh, he's detoxing. Heroin addicts, it can kill them. Alcoholics, it can kill them. I mean, it's that epileptic generalized seizures, right? It is very difficult. And I recently quit smoking. By recently, I mean 4 or 5 years ago. And everyone says after the first couple days, you don't miss them. Or some people said that. They're stupid. They're liars. Oh, after a month, you don't miss cigarettes anymore. Liars. 6 months. Liars. 3 years. You don't miss it anymore. Unless you're driving, eating, drinking, listening to music, or walking in brisk, not quite cold, but brisk weather. That's the only time I miss cigarettes. So yeah, it's not an open and shut book, but for anyone that is considering getting off of a bad habit, these are the characteristics of delirium tremens. The symptoms are mental confusion, abnormal perception, errors of interpretation, hallucinations, disruption of the sleep-wake cycle, insomnia, narcolepsy, daytime sleepiness, increase or decrease in psychomotor activity, temporospatial disorientation, non-recognition of friends and family, memory problems, epilepsy, and seizures. And there are ways to treat it. Back in the day, it was strap them to a bed. And if they live through it, then they're clean. Then you let them loose and they go out and do it again. And it's just a horrible, repetitive process. There's a movie, I believe it's My Name is Bob, about the formation of Alcoholics Anonymous. Tommy Lee Jones is in it. And it really goes through this. Now, I say those things not because I want to scare you away from going and getting help. No. I'm saying that's the thing that people are scared of, as far as the physical side of it. It's not that bad, and we are so much better at treating it now. Now, the other reason to not go, a lot of people say, is, well, what if I fail? Then you're right back where you were. What if you succeed? Hey. So if you want to get help, I cannot recommend any particular group. I know there's those guys and girls. They make jewelry. They make little crosses and stuff. I call them the Rehab. I call mine a Rehab cross, right? They make these, and that's what they do with their spare time. They sell them in front of stores. It's I know several people that have gone through that 2 in New Mexico and 1 in Oregon. And 2 out of 3 thought it was fantastic, and the other one thought, well, I guess it's all right as far as rehabs go. But what works for one may not work the other. The important thing is try. Now the SAMHSA, which I was told, not SAMHSA, I'm saying it wrong, but whatever, for confidential help from public health agencies. The phone number is 1-800-662-4352. That is 1-800-662-4352. Reach out, get some help. And to my friend whose family member is going through this, hell yeah. Very, very excited and very, very proud of you for reaching out for help. Most are scared to do it, but it's awful brave to fucking try it. So, fuck yeah. And when touching upon the topic of Alcoholics Anonymous and addiction problems, this is to all the recovering addicts. I know that seems shitty. Well, I guess I should follow that up with happy news. Well, happy-ish. Doobie-doobie-doo. Boom. A 3D eyeball. That's right. Now, this gentleman, who's in London, has gotten the world's first 3D printed eyeball as a prosthetic. Now, that it's a prosthetic, it doesn't work. But I want you to look. Which one's the prosthetic? My guess is the left eye, the one, on the right side of your screen, or right side of my screen. That'd be my guess. But since I can't 100% confidently say so, I think that's probably a pretty good eyeball, right? Like, I think it's, well, I can't point on the screen, but the one on, yeah. So the great things about this is, one, it costs much, much less. And costing less makes me very, very happy when it comes to prosthetics. These things tend to be expensive. Also, it takes half the time or less to get the damn thing. So less weight, less cost. And the biggest problem people have with prosthetic eyes not being realistic enough is the eyes are the window to the soul. So what do windows do? They absorb and reflect light. These hand-painted glass eyes, they don't absorb light very well. They just reflect it. So it holds better light absorption. Not my opinion, just what the doctors and the patients that are going through this, that's what they say. I'm going to go with them on it. If it makes them happy, yes, please. More of that. We've all seen the 3D printed duck legs, right? Some duck had its feet frozen off or something. They made him prosthetic little duck legs. Dude can hobble around and it's pretty cool. I raise turtles. Love my turtles. So if you hibernate your turtles and rats can sometimes chew off legs. And then these little guys, they can't really get around as much. They got to drag their little shells around. And back in the day, you would just basically glue like a little skateboard to their ass end or to the front end so they can, at least slide around. Well, they've made like awesome 3D prosthetic things. So it's like it holds it steadier and like really cool stuff. 3D printing, I don't know much about it. I know the doctor I worked for way back when, he made fidget spinners with his 3D printer and sold them and made so much money off the fidget spinners that he was able to take a week-long camping trip out in some place where people go, like Montana or something. And his wife couldn't bitch because he wasn't spending their money. It was his fidget spinner money. So yes. You ever thought about getting a 3D printer?
I think a 3D printer would be cool. I would build a lot of fake weapons. That's what I would do. I wouldn't build fidget spinners. Child's play. I would make fake swords, long swords. I'm talking with Targaryen fucking Game of Thrones shit. You know what I mean?
I think you gotta have a bigger printer for that then.
Nah. You can print it with a fax machine. Fuck it. I don't care what it is. Fax machine. I don't care what it is. That's what I would do with it. But I do dumb shit, so don't listen to me.
Hey. I thought about getting one, but then it's like it costs money and I gotta learn something new. Right. Like, I am 68 years old and I haven't mastered the basic life stuff. I don't have time to learn new stuff. And for those of you that are like 68, wow, I thought you looked older. I'm only 65. So, the holidays. This is a time where people face depression and struggle more. So that is why the Sam's addiction hotline and the mention of Rehab was the first thing I did. While it may be a very difficult time, you're not alone. Reach out. Reach out to those, even a stranger. But if none of that works, and you really, really need help, there's the transcranial direct current stimulation. Basically, think of a battery shoved inside your brain, right? See, all you need is one little brain, one little battery, 2 wires, and some sponges. Now I know what you're thinking. Electroshock therapy? No. This is not One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. No, and it's better than lobotomy. So you don't do Rosemary Kennedy or anything. No, it's all perfectly interesting. Now, I am not your doctor, so I cannot give you any medical advice. If I was your doctor, I would probably not advise you to do this. However, if you're bored and you want to hear about something interesting without me saying whether you should or should not do it, check this out. So, you get a battery. You attach it to some wires, right? Attach the wires to the sponges and attach the sponges to the skull, one over each eyebrow or towards the temple, right? And once a day, simmer. Zzz. Right? Now, sure, it sounds like something some crazy person would think of. But transcranial direct current stimulation is one of the coolest things to happen in the improvisational health management scene. You know, it's like acupuncture, only in the brain. Now, I know. There's a growing body of evidence that suggests that sticking a battery onto your head to hack into your brain's operating system might or might not make life generally suck less. But many people like to think of it as McAfee for the brain. Now, TDCS is actually really that simple. If you got a TENS unit, think of that, only much cheaper. Now, go ahead and get $5, $10 worth of parts at the nearest Radio Shack. And I know people say, oh, they don't have them anymore. No, they have them. I went to one in New Mexico and bought this microphone. Oh, no, actually. This microphone over here, which quit working. But I still bought one there. So it does exist still. I hate you, Twitter. So, what are the pros and cons? There's a lot of pros, right? People have said that there is improved hand-eye coordination, better memory, less depression, less senility. It can improve your grammar. It can help with your memory. They have claimed it might possibly help control seizures. It may speed up the process of recovering from hangovers. Improve memory. Did I mention that one before? I don't remember. You could become a superior human and crush puny, unenhanced inferiors while you survive the rise of the machines. And better memory. Pretty good pros, right? So what are the cons? Well, you look stupid. That's it. Oh, there's one other tiny little con, but not a big one. There's a small but very realistic, concerning chance that you can come down with a slight case of permanent brain damage or maybe death. But improved memory. So, all right. If you're truly considering this, looking stupid probably isn't something you've worried about. But sticking the battery to your head will not make you look smarter. Now, the therapeutic art of applying electricity and other traumas to the brain has long been a very unpleasant, unliked, shitty treatment, right? Look, electroshock therapy is more consistent with torture than TCDS, right? See, electric shock therapy is like 500 volts, right? And like 1500 amps. But TDCS is just 10 volts and, a couple amps. And you don't have to be strapped to a table. Now, the voltage is low, so there's a lower chance that you're going to kill yourself or destroy anything other than your dignity. But There is a slightly improved chance that when an electrical storm sweeps over the neural circuitry that is your brain, you might cause seizures. But as long as you don't move it too far to the right or too far to the left, then you probably won't do too much brain shaping magnetic stimulation. Permanent brain damage. And there's also a chance that you can adjust the contrast of human vision. That's only if the polarities are off by an amount. But it is better than lobotomy. And let's be fair, it's way better than a certain doctor who the media loves has been doing to beagles. So there's that. But back to the holidays. Do you know Krampus? See, every comic book hero has an arch enemy, right? Batman has the Joker. Sherlock Holmes has Dr. Moriarty. James Bond has the box office. Luke has Darth Vader. Seth Rogen has Rotten Tomatoes. And Santa Claus has Krampus. That's right. Santa Claus has an arch villain. See, Krampus is one of those quirky survivals of a pagan tradition that preceded Christianity. Santa Claus, while Santa Claus is based on Saint Nicholas, they also took certain winter solstice figures and combined them when Christians came into Austria. Now, while Santa was heavily influenced by the Norse deities, the enemy of good in Norse mythology was, yes, I know it's an MCU thing now, but Loki, who had a wide range of depictions. A trickster with big horns. While the noble Thor was a good candidate for transformation into a Christian saint, Loki didn't quite work out so well. So while Germans love their Santa and love their Krampus, it very, very much does come from Thor and Loki. I know. Everyone talks about them now in the MCU, but the lingering after image of Loki became the template in part for Krampus. See, the tradition is primarily an Austrian thing, although it spread around Europe. There's really two takes, one being a secular humanist approach, and the other being a magic approach, right? So if you put any two Austrians in a room, they will have a fist fight about which interpretation is the correct one. They will also fist fight over how much antifreeze you're supposed to put in the wine, because, too much, and then people die, not enough, and then do you really have Gewürztraminer? Just saying. God, I'm a dork. Now, in the secular humanist approach, Krampus and the observation of Krampus traditions are pretty much just the antithesis of Santa Claus. Now, on December 5th, the eve of the feast day of Saint Nick, Austrians celebrate Krampus by running around in cool-ass masks and scaring the shit out of children, right? It's like good cop, bad cop, because December 6th is Christmas, basically. December 5th is scare the shit out of kids, which, works pretty well. The next day, kids are extra happy about their gifts, because they're not having coal thrown at them or being chased around with a broom by some creepy drunk guy in the neighborhood. Yeah, I can relate. Now, other variations of the theme, and whether you're in Austria or Germany or Pennsylvania, yes, Pennsylvania, there's all different variations, right? Some people say that Krampus is one of Santa's minions who follows obediently along, passing out presents or switches depending upon the moral turpitude of the little shit in question. See, growing up, as a child, Christmas time, people gave out switches, which was like, hey, your little kid is a pain in the ass, so here, Mom and Dad, here's a switch to beat that little fucker, because he causes trouble in the neighborhood. Yep. Now, Americans allegedly have taken that and made elves based on pointy-eared Krampus. But, it's a thing. Now, there's the mystical interpretation of Krampus. See, under this theory, people dress up in the hideous masks in order to scare off evil spirits so that Christmas the next day can be celebrated by all the kids without bad spirits fucking with them. So this kinda matches the traditional use of masks in religious ritual, the concept of a fearsome visage that wards off cowardly evil spirits. Does have some pedigree, and not just in the snowy mountains of the Germanic Europe, which is beautiful, but it does get a little crazy in the wintertime. Crystal knocked. But outside of Germany, in Hindu mythology, Black Makala fills the Krampus role. And in Japan, they wear masks that are supposed to look like Benji. They wear masks that look like Benji, but are supposed to represent fierce lions. The Krampus mask benefits from being particularly gross or stupid looking. There's really no middle ground on that. Hindus have a better aesthetic sense than the Austrians because Krampus mask kind of looks silly because of the whole Christian devil image, right? And we have used the devil as mascots for like Duke University and so while the Hindus focus on like scary, fierce creatures, the Christians kind of focus on a cartoon character. But either way, they try to make it as scary as possible. And that's really all that there is about Krampus. Oh, wait, there's one tiny thing I forgot. The fucking. What? The fucking? Yes, the fucking. See, one of the relative benefits of paganism over Christianity in that particular sense is that paganism usually has holidays devoted to wild fucking orgies, right? The Celts indulge in this behavior around Easter, which is why the Easter bunny is what we use to celebrate Easter. Why? Because people would fuck like bunnies. So Easter, we have bunnies and eggs, which represent like fertility and blah, blah, blah. So for Krampus, they all banged. Now, they sort of, Christians, when they came around, they frowned slightly on big fucking orgies. So this Krampus fertility nexus sort of evolved into a weird, like, creepy taboo stalker kind of scenario, which the devilish figure, depicted with a swollen foot-long red tongue, malevolently thrusts himself on nubile women's. And, they are protesting his advances. Now, in some places, it might not be a foot-long red tongue. It might be foot-long tuna sub. How's that? By the way, tuna sub spelled backwards is exactly what is happening to Jared Fogle in prison right now. Just so you know. Sorry. And it's kind of creepy, but it's playful and fun. You're seeing it less and less because overly aggressive, sexualized humor at unwitting, unwanted females used to be oh, you ruffian. Now it's Me Too. So, probably a good thing, but we should bring back the orgies, right? Anyways. A cottage industry in Austria, from Victorian times through the present, has been the production of Krampus postcards to commemorate the holiday season. Yes, I said postcards. Postcards are a very, very old thing, especially in Europe. Now, these tend to feature Krampus and his prodigious tongue assailing various Betty Page-type pinup girls, or pure-hearted Austrian Husenfraus. Sorry, my German is failed. With lecherous advances. Now, during World War II, Krampus shamefully pandered to the Nazis in such postcards, doing a series of propaganda appearances in which he trounced and embarrassed British and French citizens and soldiers. So, naturally, after World War II, Krampus fled to Brazil and took part in an evil cloning scheme. But we have failed to verify those reports. No, the reason why Krampus was so heavily involved in Nazi propaganda is because Austria was the Nazis. That's why Uncle Sam was tended to be anti-Nazi for the most part in most advertisements, because he was in America. And America was anti-Nazi, at least back then. So yeah, who would have thought the holiday Christmas story would involve orgies and Nazis?
Anyone? That's my favorite kind of Christmas story.
Right? Anyone that has ever watched one of my podcasts knows there will be orgies brought in at some point, or something that totally doesn't fit. Now, one more thing to bring up that I'd like to mention. Snipes. Snipe hunting. Now, if you're a younger person, have you ever heard of snipe hunting?
Where's the cameras at? Am I being monitored?
No, no one can see you right now. But we can hear you.
Snipe hunting? Is that slang?
No.
It's not slang. Oh, well, no, I don't know anything.
Okay. See, snipe hunting is an old boys game, right? You get these country or rural folks, and you get that kid from the city who's never really gone outdoors much. It's your cousin or what have you. So you are going to take him snipe hunting. See, that's the trick. There are no snipes. So you give this kid a fucking bag, and you make up something like, I'm going to come up with a funny sound, and that will be the call. That is how you call the snipes, right? So you need to say boobity boo ba ba, right? As loud as you can. Boobity boo ba ba, boobity boo ba ba. and that will draw the snipe. And then you'll throw the bag over his head and you'll hit him with a stick. That's how you catch the snipe. So while this kid is running around the woods, and I say kid, you know, a young person, 15 to 30, whatever, you and your buddies all fucking sit down and start drinking a beer and laugh as you hear this person run through the woods going, boobity boo ba boo, boobity boo ba boo, and just laughing your asses off while he runs around all day. And if you're extra dickish, you will sort of rotate around so that he never quite can catch you, because you can hear the motherfucker because he's shouting boobity boo ba boo, or, you know, shingle dingle dangle, whatever the fuck you come up with that's funny as hell. And it's a little hazing thing. Sounds funny, right? Well, what many people don't know, and what I didn't know, is snipes are real. And this is what makes it extra fucking cool, right? I didn't know this until I was pulling a snipe hunting trick. And I know smartphones and Google have fucked everything up for you guys. But my buddy's dad had a fucking book of ornithology, fucking book on birds. And a snipe is actually a small bird that lives in like Mississippi or somewhere, right?
Right.
But they don't exist in most places. But because it's an actual real bird and you can show them in the book, that's what makes it funnier and believable. But yeah, it's one of the games. Now, in the military, there are a number of jobs that you give these baby privates. A baby private is a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid who has no knowledge of the real world. You know, naive, young, full of piss and vinegar, wanting to prove himself and do a good job. So naturally, you take these good people and you fucking break their spirits by hazing the shit out of them. Now, hazing, I approve of. Abuse, I do not. Right? Hazing is something that will be annoying, embarrassing. We all laugh at each other. You know, we all laugh at the new person. And while they're feeling kind of shitty and embarrassed, like, oh, don't worry. And then you call out the previous new person, like, guess what we had him do? And then we all remember that and laugh at that person. And then as that person goes on a little bit and they get a little older, they haze the new person. See, hazing brings you closer together. The problem is when hazing goes too far, right? Now, snipe hunting is something from Boy Scouts, right? You go find the long-billed bird called the snipe, and we all laugh that you're running around embarrassing yourself. When you hazing, like at the University of Tennessee with butt chugging whiskey, that fucking kills people. Bad. Not hazing. Murder. All right. So I get to a new unit. To a new unit, and I have the platoon sergeant and the senior scout. I was a Cav scout, so the platoon was much smaller than, you know, you watch that movie Platoon with Charlie Sheen, and the platoon's like 80 dudes. Yeah, see, Cav scout. No, in the Cav you got a platoon 20 to 30 at best. Senior Scout is the highest ranking NCO after the platoon sergeant. And then Junior Scout is the next highest ranking person. So you take the platoon sergeant and the Junior Scout, those two team up, and then the lieutenant, who's a fucking child, and the Senior Scout, they team up. That way it works out best. So they're telling me to jump up on the striker. See, jump up on the striker up here, right? And one of the very important rules is, if you're going to leave the ground and climb on top of the fucking vehicle, you need to put on your fucking helmet, and you need 3 points of contact. That means you don't just stand up there. You have to have 2 feet and a leg, or 2 feet and a hand, or 2 hands and a foot, right? You can't just, right? And that's why your ass is your 4th point of contact, because it counts as 4. If you're sitting on your ass, it counts as all 4. So anyways, Platoon Sergeant Stu, he's like, hey, Jay, jump up there and fucking tie down that antenna. Roger, Sergeant. And I go and I grab my helmet to put on. He goes, I didn't fucking say put on your helmet. I said, get up there and do it now. You don't have time for that. Do it. You know what? Fine. I know how this is going to go, but all right, whatever. So I go to climb up, and Platoon Sergeant Stu walks away. And Senior Scout, Sergeant C, he walks around from the back of the vehicle, and he sees me climbing up there, and he screams at me, fucking get down on the ground. And I'm like, well, let me just, no, now. And push-ups and flutter kicks, and just, he's yelling at me and screaming at me and just being very loud and working my ass off. Then he walks off. He's like, recover, which means you can get up now. So as I recover, Platoon Sergeant comes walking around and he goes, you still haven't done that yet? And then he starts smoking. Smoking as in he's making me do push-ups and flutter kicks, right? And the process repeats until one of them loses their straight face and is laughing. And then it's like, I am exhausted, I am worn out, and I'm embarrassed. And that's when they're like, all right, what did you learn? Shit, what did I learn? Do it as soon as you say, or safety procedures, or what did I learn? Sergeant, I'm not sure. What did I learn? You learned that we're both assholes. Roger, Sergeant. And it was fun for them. But I would haze people I tried to be funnier, but I also try to tailor it towards people. Like, if someone is particularly failing in an area, then you haze them in a way that will help them. I need you to run down there and grab me. I need you to run over there as quick as you can and grab me 24 millimeter socket wrench, or 24 millimeter wrench, so that I can take the hub off the ass end here. And then run, faster, faster, faster. He gets back. It's like, ooh, what are you doing? This takes a 22 inch, you know, or 22 millimeter. You know that. Go, run. And then run. Maybe if I'm extra dickish, I'll chase him. and make him run the whole way. Yeah, it's mean. Yeah, it's kind of shitty. Yes, it's helping him. Yes, it's funny. I need you to go get an exhaust sample from the tank. What? Hand someone a garbage bag. Tell them to go get an exhaust sample. So they're going to be over there where the exhaust is, filling up a garbage bag full of smoke from the exhaust. And like, here you go, Sergeant. Thank you. Now go bring that to the lieutenant. He's got to check it too. Roger, Sergeant. Lieutenant's like, and lieutenants are all fucking children and stupid. It's like, what is this? What is this? So the exhaust sample? What are you talking about? What is wrong with you? Why are you so dumb, Private? Wow, Lieutenant, you're extra dumb. Or give someone a hammer, tell them to find the weak spot in the armor. Check the armor for weak spots. So, because you need someone to stay there and watch the vehicles while everyone takes the lunch break. So yeah, get the new guy. And while we all go to lunch, he is walking laps around the tank. Ding, ding, ding. Well, that part sounds different. Let me mark it with a piece of chalk. Ding, ding, ding. And you get back and like, all right, did you find the weak spot? Well, this part sounds funny in this part. All right, cool. Thank you. Now go get lunch. You got 10 minutes. Yeah. It's hazing. It's kind of shitty. But you gotta fucking help build them up as well. You can't just fucking torture people. You got to depend on these fucking assholes. So you don't want to break them down completely. You just want to, you know, crack them a little bit so you can buffer out the cracks and be better for it. But we're closing in on the hour mark, and if you are facing particular issues during this holiday season, reach out for help. You're never alone. There's always someone to reach out to, even a stranger. And let's bring back Christmas orgies, because that'll help with holiday depression.